Hello.
Hi, Vatsal.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. Good morning. So we'll begin in a few minutes. Hello, guys. Very good morning. Hope you're doing good. Please introduce yourself in the chat if you can. That would be really great.
Yeah, hi. So should I mention just in the chat, right?
Vatsal, can you repeat?
Or I will just introduce in the chat.
Okay. Either way is fine. Even unmute yourself and speak, or even in the chat is also fine. Cool. So we'll start in 5 to 10 minutes, guys. I think people are joining now. So
Hello, Prithvi. Hello, all. Good morning.
Yeah. Hello, Ravi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Great. First of all, thanks guys for being here. I'll start in 5 minutes. Meanwhile, if you haven't introduced, please introduce yourself in the chat. And also, if you may know about what are you looking for in the data science career transition, what are you looking for learning? Or if you have any specific queries you wanted to ask me, though we'll have a question and answer session at the end. But I want you guys to put it in the chat also, so that I can address it even before. Cool, awesome. So hi Jagannath, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. So how many of you here have more than 5 years experience? You have a reactions tab, guys, on the Zoom. You can raise your hand with that. More than 5 years experience. Oh, wow. Krishna, great. So you're in an aligned domain, so data warehousing and visualizations. Good. So out of so I've seen 5 participants raising hand for greater than 5 years experience. Amazing.
Oh, right.
Cool, guys. So we'll get started without wasting any time. Give me one moment. Just sharing the screen. Okay. So I know, though it is not mandatory, I'm just briefly talking about what this talk about. So I'll be talking about 30 minutes on how do you learn data science and leveraging AI, right? That's a topic of the session. First of all, I'll talk about what's happening in the field. Second, I'll talk about what will be the way to transition yourself into data science career. And third, I'll talk about end-to-end data science course as well. Finally, we'll open it to a question answer session, right? I know most of you are seen me on LinkedIn profile, my post on LinkedIn, and you're coming from there. So I'll not waste time introducing myself. One moment. Right. And during the entire process, if you have any questions, either feel free to put in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and speak as well. Anyways, it would be fine. So about me, I'm a gold medalist in research from NIT Warangal. First published papers in optimization domain. Then I started right out of college and then built some amazing models in solar and wind That's where my career started, and explored journalism also part-time. And on data science and optimization, I'm doing it since last 6 years. I built a recommendation engine, optimization algorithms from the scratch. And from last 3 years, I'm exploring the education part of it, because I really feel that mentoring and good content and guidance, that's actually really required to get a lot more people into this field in a qualitative way. So that's why I started focusing more on education part of it. So we have another course called 100 hours NLP. Of course, I'm not talking about that now. So that's briefly about me. Now, I think there has been enough of knowledge or enough of wisdom around the internet on why is this field booming, or is this hype or not, but I'm not going to talk about that. I'll talk about one thing, which is called data-based decision making. I think that's broadly leading the entire field. If you look at businesses or government, or even in your personal life also, we are nowadays taking a lot of decisions based on data. Okay, and increasingly a lot of data is being generated. That's because you interact with a lot of technology devices these days, and you type it out. 5 years ago, people never typed out so much of content online, right? Second thing is, all this data which is being generated is also being stored, okay, and it is being extensively mined in the sense, I'll talk about visualization, I'll talk about building modeling on top of it, and all of this has become an integral part of our lives, at least since last 10 years. There's an explosive growth in every field on these things. So that's why people started making decisions based on data. You want to reduce price, you want to increase price, or you want to offer some service, you want to offer a product, you want to see whether the product is doing good or not, right? You want to see your hire. So you take any field, this data-based decision making is taking over. Like you talk about HR, banking, FMCG, or any sector, it's taking over. Now, specifically, what is AI, or I would specifically call it as modeling, or bringing up your prediction models, right? For example, make my trip increasing flight prices after Mumbai airport got shut down, or Boeing got an outage. OYO is able to predict marriage seasons. Earlier, good olden days, we used to have astrologers who will tell which season is good for marriages. But OYO predicts marriage seasons much better than astrologers. Uber knows when it rains, even before our Met department, and they can predict it very accurately. Google keyboard helps you autocomplete good morning messages to your bosses, right? There's this one popular website in India, 1MG, which started recommending what next medicines you should take. So it knows what illness you fall for, most likely, assuming. Grammarly corrects your next mistakes. Spotify recommends a song for you. Google recommends an answer for you. Zomato recommends your food. Mindspace recommends when to sleep. YouTube recommends you a recipe or a video, right? So all this, I mean, I'm just telling you all the examples where you interact with AI in day-to-day life. These are consumer-facing products. Nevertheless, you find AI taking over in B2B industry also. In places where you cannot see it also, it is all taking over. Now, having said that, a lot of people say that this is an old wine in new bottle. What do you mean by old wine in new bottle? It's partially true. If you ask me, didn't we have translation models? Yes. In 1960s, during Cold War times, to understand Russian, Americans developed, Russians developed translation systems, just like you have Google Translate now. Face detection was being researched from early 1980s. Speech recognitions was in 90s. And today we will talk about getting price as soon as we enter locations, which is nothing but forecasting some price. But electrical demand forecasting has been deployed in as early as 1980s. And this popular use case, I don't know when you came across, predicting how many enemy warships are there by British, was done as early as 1940s. And Manhattan Project that led to bombing of your Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Those were the earliest examples of great Monte Carlo simulations. Now, didn't we have all this earlier? The answer is yes. But the algorithms we use today, or the scale at which the data we process today, is really great. Now, as the scale increases, the older algorithms won't work better. You might need complex algorithms. So new complex algorithms came in. Now, when the scale and data complexity increases, we need more of visualization, more of understanding it. So the field actually has been growing at a progressive level. Whatever you say, AI or algorithms or pattern recognition or ML or deep learning, it's growing progressively. But last 10 to 20 years, the algorithms have become very powerful. Research is growing at exponential level. At the same time, data is growing at exponential level. And as research grows, data grows, your adoption is also going at an exponential level. So yeah, the basics were there earlier too, but it's definitely a new wine, which we are drinking now, along with some old wine also. Now, what is brewing in this domain so far? Like, there's a lot of not too much of knowledge actually. But as I said, more data being generated and captured, that's one happening across the businesses, and more analysis, storage, and compute becoming cheaper. Storage and compute becoming cheaper is leading to more analysis. That means more jobs being created across the industry. Right? And what's the driving money into world is because we're solving more problems, better insights, making better businesses, and we have less human efforts happening and more efficient operations. Vatsal, sure, I'll take care of that. I'll share the syllabus as well once again. Okay, so that's about a very basic introduction into this field, right? Then I'll talk about the intricacies of data science project or ML project. For example, whenever you look at any project, you have components like data collection, data cleaning, exploratory data analysis, which is visualization, modeling, and then modeling, which is specific to the data. And of course, it ends with reporting and storytelling. These are the important skills which you require to thrive in the machine learning world. So if you are specifically talking about roles, I will say it is a data scientist role. What this course or learning data science, data analyst, or sometimes people call it as ML engineer role. A very few people call it as AI engineer as well. Right? Yep. So these are pretty much the roles, or sometimes even a business analyst is expected to do this also. Some companies call it business analyst. So these are the roles wherein these are the opening level roles if you want to get into this field. And all these people will be majorly working on these components, which is data collection, data cleaning, and EDA, visualization, modeling, etc. So the project life cycles, I mean, it's a very generic one. So in general, you have a team of people having in it. In general, any data scientist project, you have a business analyst sitting, data analyst sitting, data scientist. sometimes, or data analyst, data scientist, both, or only data analyst, right? And probably you have a technical lead or technical manager or architect sitting with you who's guiding to the solutions. And then you will be working with the DevOps team also, especially when it comes to deployment. So this is what happens in a typical project life cycle. Okay. So apart from gaining a job, I personally feel like to learn the data science and AI is everywhere around you. If you have to make your life better, one more reason to be a data scientist is like to save more money, to understand what Uber does to grab more money on you, how Swiggy manipulates your news feeds, how to stop giving your attention to YouTube, how to preserve your willpower, how to manage your decisions of choice well, and understanding your addictions and influences, especially from the digital world. I would personally say learning data science had helped me do all this at a much better level. And to be wary of what privacy is guaranteed and what is not, etc. To better utilize government data, to become responsible citizen. These are some of the interesting sides on which I always work on data science, using it in your personal life also. So the last line actually should make it hard for you. You should understand that you're already a consumer of data science, and to fight back for your attention or for your willpower or for your money, right? You need to learn data science. Cool. So that's pretty much about what happens in the life of a data scientist, what kind of roles you can look for, and specifically talking about what makes you a data scientist or an analyst. Okay, you're talking about skills. You need analytical thinking, a bit of business acumen, and a bit more at a higher level if domain needs, and then problem solving. On concepts level, you need stats, ML, NLP, and DL. DL stands for deep learning. On tools, either Python or R, a good knowledge of Tableau, a bit of Excel and SQL, then Git and Linux. So these are the tools you should be good with. So essentially you'll use tools to implement concepts. And if you keep on implementing all these on several problems, you will acquire the skills of analytical thinking and problem solving. And business acumen, if you narrow down to that particular business and do more and more problems, should be able to understand it. So if you want to make a career in this field, this should be on your wallpaper, focusing on what you want to learn. And of course, finally, invisible things make the invincible. I always say this. I've been training for last 3 years. I've completed more than 20 batches. If you ask me, Prithvi, who will make a good career transition? My first answer is like, who has good willpower? Okay. And a lot of people keep asking me this question, who will make a career transition? I commonly give this analogy. A lion runs for its lunch, and a deer, which is being chased by a lion, runs for its life. So in 100 cases, 95% of the case, the deer will run faster or will be able to escape. Okay, so if a lion fails, it is only losing its lunch. Okay, if a deer fails, it will be losing its life. So who becomes a data scientist, who makes a successful career transition, is highly dependent on whether you run like a deer or whether you run like a lion. You think like, hey, I have a job, I'm doing good, I have a family, I have everything, and you want to spend just 2 hours aside, and this is one of your last priorities, and then I'm telling you, you'll be learning like a lion. Lion is like, I really appreciate when I use the word line for these people. they're secure, happy. And if you're like a deer, you're almost losing life. If you fail this, then you will make it. The reason I'm telling you is like data science is not conceptually very difficult, but you need a lot of practice. And the single factor which makes a difference is the number of hours you put into it, not the number of hours you spend searching for resources, not the number of hours you watch a YouTube video while you're walking or something, but the number of hours in actually writing the code, the number of lines of code you write, right? All those things matter a lot. Now, that's what I say, willpower makes a difference. So figure out what you want to know, right? Whether you want to do a master's, whether you want to become a consultant in this field or a business analyst or the roles, or you want to become an AI entrepreneur or use it on existing projects or transition internally, or you're just doing it for pet projects or doing it for upskilling. So you have these goals, and step 2 is like persist. The only word I would say is persist, nothing else, because there is a lot of content, many mentors to help. 5 years back when I started, I couldn't get all this. So this is a popular quote I have always. Cool. Now talking about end-to-end data science course, just give me one moment. I hope I have shared all the curriculum with you guys on the email, but again, I'm attaching it here again, once again. Just give me a moment so that you have it. Okay, so I have attached the curriculum in the chat, guys. I have already sent this on email as well. You can download the full curriculum and have a look at it. I'll briefly cover it again also. So there are 3 particular modules. First one is foundations. The second one is AI and data science. Third one is advanced AI. When I talk about foundations, we talk descriptive stats, inferential stats. This includes all your math, like probability, linear algebra, or and all this applied in the data context, and as well as Python, very basics, pandas, numpy, all those things, matplotlib, and we'll teach from basics. If you have never coded in the past, we are gonna do it from zero, so don't worry. The only thing is, if you haven't coded in the past, you got to spend more time. That means like 5 hours a week apart from classes. If you spend on coding, I think you should be good with it. Then statistical modeling and machine learning, the classical algorithms. So I'll cover the business side of it, the data side of it, and the third thing is how to implement it in Python. Finally, we'll go to NLP optimization, deep learning. So live classes go something like this. You have some pre-class preparation. Mostly I'll cover everything in live classes. You need to have, if you have any questions and doubts, and then we'll have some quiz. On the coding, again, it will be me teaching in live with class tasks. You do it along with me on the screen share. If you have any questions, right away, raise it. And you have some assignments to be done. And if you do it, then you should be able to complete them. If you have any questions, you can ask me on the Slack. If you have doubts, answering and task for evaluation. So major topics will be this. The attached PDF will have extensive document topics, linear logistic time series, machine learning, advanced machine learning, deep learning, NLP. I will slightly touch upon cloud, SQL, R, and Tableau. And the next aspect is like, how does this mentoring work? All this course throughout, you can always chat with me. Talk to me anytime if you want one-on-one calls. I'm generally available. And after the course, what happens is like you have to apply these concepts on the use cases. We'll give you some solved use cases. You can pick up one use case and solve it end to end also. How to build a profile, get experience, how to do the depth versus breadth issue, how to get your first DS job, how to level up the game after a year into data science. These are the common questions you'll face after the course completes, and that's where I am available. So we have some capstone projects already done. So we give them all to you, recorded explanation and all the code done. All you need to spend is some quality time, go through it, come up with some use cases, right? One or two use case, and then weekly once we will sit and try to solve it. I'll guide you, you'll solve it. And we don't put any limit on the use cases you try. Okay, and that is the way mentoring works. Mentoring is purely one-on-one in nature, and you have to be very motivated to do it. Finally, you have profile building. You have a good profile, social presence, visual, cover letter, or mock interviews, or post-interview analysis. All this is assured from my side after the course completes. So after class, you can ask doubts if needed. One in the middle of week also, we do practice sessions. There's a Slack channel, you can text me always. And there's a discussion forum online on the website. You can put your questions, ask your friends to revert, and email for any issues with the platform. I'm also available on phone for any other emergencies you have. And there's a final one, guys. Why only supervised learning? So 2 weeks, no questions asked, refund, and you can shift to next batch. In case you start and you are not able to complete due to work reasons or any health emergency, you can shift to next batch at free of cost. And you have availability for NLP 100 hours course also after. And I'm the guy who creates the content, all the slides. I'm the guy who will teach you. I'm the guy who will answer your questions. So we don't have an organized setup. Not that I'm not unorganized. We don't have an organized setup where someone creates some slides, someone comes and teaches. There's no coherence in that kind of systems. So I refer a lot of students to many opportunities, have known people in and out. A lot of people come to me only asking, Prithvi, your referral is much needed. And we don't put tons of ads and pass that cost to students. In general, what happens is like people put a lot of marketing budgets and all this is passed on to the students. It's been 16 batches. We didn't put a single advertisement. We don't pay royalties to anyone to certify our courses. Our courses are certified by our student success, and I have more than 100 success stories till now. And I myself had almost 12 students of ours, and we groomed them, and most of them are very successful in the industry. So these are the reasons you want to do with supervisedlearning.com if you want to do. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on the email. And by the way, guys, the batch is starting on Feb 27th. That's next Sunday. And the cost of the program is already shared. It is 50,000 INR. I'll open the thing for questions now. I think, yep. 25 minutes. I took your time. Okay. I'm open to the questions, guys.
Thanks, Prithvi. When it comes to the live classes, what is the schedule for that on Saturday and Sunday?
Saturday and Sunday, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock a.m. IST.
Okay.
8, 10 IST. Yes. So that's the time. AM. I'm talking about AM.
And the mid of the week session is based on the requirement, right?
Yes, yes. Based on the requirement, if more students ask, I'll organize it as per the convenience.
Okay. And what is the total duration for these live classes? Is it 3 months?
Okay. The total number of hours is 90 to 95 hours. It will go for 5 months around, roughly.
Okay.
Yeah. 5 months is 5 months, 1 week, or 5 months, 2 weeks. That's the general duration.
And these sessions are recorded, right?
Yeah, they are recorded, and all the recordings will be available for you within 8 to 10 hours after the class completes. And you can stream them online you can log in on any device and stream them any number of times.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, Prithvi. So, is there any job guarantee or some kind of? Do you have any companies that that you can refer to, or?
Yeah. Krishna, in general, we don't give any guarantees just because we don't want to take the complete responsibility that student completes the course. But in case you completed the course, we refer students to multiple opportunities. 3 to 4 opportunities every week is the general flow I have. The only reason is I want students to buy for the content and the time I spend, not for the guarantees on the placement, because that's not how it works in general. People who complete the course, when I say complete, do the courses, assignments, quizzes, etc. I've seen all of them get placed, and whoever doesn't complete them, most likely they don't get placed. So by guaranteeing that will take away the responsibility on the student side. That's the reason I don't guarantee. We don't do that. But yes, 3 to 4 opportunities every week. That's what we provide. And this is to less than 4 years experience. If you have greater than that, then the number of opportunities we can show will be very, very limited, given that we are also small. We don't search for that kind of profiles. But what I do is, like, I personally sit with the senior folks, help them in building their projects profile and all.
Yeah, and also, do you teach the productionization of ML code, how to deploy ML code into the production environment?
Yeah, when you talk about productionalization, there are 2 aspects. How do you write the code such that it can be productionalized? Second thing is the integration with the APIs or whatever your web servers, or putting it on AWS or Google Colab. So we show it how to deploy on the cloud. We show how to write on the code such that it can be productionalized also. That is also part of it. But we don't do extensive tutorials on how to connect it with AWS, how to put it on Google Colab or a Google Cloud or Azure, etc. So we are not doing the DevOps aspect of the deployment. We are doing the ML aspect in the deployment. That will teach you.
Okay, so even in the capstone project or the case studies,
Right.
do we have to do the productionization also?
Yes.
I mean, deploy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. You have to see. We will show you how to do it. Whether you do it or not depends upon your time. And what I've seen is, like, general 40-50% of students are not very motivated. They build the code, but they don't deploy it, because you need to learn basics of Flask again, which we teach. There's a
Yeah.
tutorial on Flask. You have to put it on web interface, or you have to be good or learn command line prompts also. So especially when deployment comes, I see a lot of churn in the students. Yeah. Ravi, sure. One moment. Okay. Just okay, Ravi, I'll email you the things.
Yeah, sure.
Um,
And Prithvi,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, sorry. One very vague question. See, when it comes to the number of hours that need to be sent per week, so what is your recommendation based on the experience? Of course, it depends upon the student
Yeah.
capability.
5 to 8 hours apart from the class hours. So class hours goes around 4.5 hours. Apart from that, 5 to 8 hours a week you should be able to spend. And if you miss 1 or 2 weeks, you have to compensate the other week with putting more hours. So in general, 5 to 8 hours. That's what we do.
Yeah, this 5 to 8 hours is for beginners, right? Say for example, a candidate like me, I don't have experience in coding.
Okay,
I'm
let's put 10 hours.
okay.
Yeah, 10, 12 hours, let's say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi,
Thank you.
this is Bharani.
Okay. Hi,
Uh,
Ben.
Hi. Just want to understand what is the difference between, because nowadays a lot of people talking about data science, they are publishing and they are saying a lot of things. So what is the content different from others and the content that what you're taking? Because the same concept, if I go and see all over the places, the same content has been issued. I went through your content. Just want to understand, like, before take the decision, because I already took decision, wrong decision, too wrong decision, paid the amount also.
Oh,
Whatever I was looking for, I didn't get it. That's the reason I'm asking this question. Sorry to ask this, but
no.
want to
You
know
need
about it.
not
Yeah.
be sorry. You need not be sorry. First of all, it's a good question. I love to explain. First of all, when others is a very big word. So I'll talk about my content. First thing is, I've went and worked as for a product and for a consulting company in analytics. So to justify some content, like, see, there are some people who put derivations and a lot of math into it, which is not required when you do a product or consulting. So I eliminate that content. So my content is more of coherent. What exactly you need in the industry, that's what I put it here. Second thing is the mode of delivery. Mode of delivery is completely live. A lot of people just do record it and then they put some mentoring sessions or something like that. Hybrid mode, I don't believe that works. Even if I'm teaching Bayes theorem or just a marginal probability, I teach it in live because I believe it works. And second thing, in a lot of other places, the content producer is some guy and content delivery is by some other guy, and there is no coherence between them. That require that, and plus this is recorded fashion, and some other guys comes on the weekend and teaches something. So this creates a lot of rift actually. So that's why they won't be able to deliver the content properly. So if you ask me, Prithvi, what is new in my content, I won't say anything is new. You can find pretty much everything if you go to Stanford website or Harvard website, pretty much everything. But what is curation part? What is necessary? What is not necessary? And uh, especially while I'm teaching itself, I'll tell you, hey guys, this is the math part of it. Until and unless you are not going to be an architect, don't need to bother about it. Focus on hands-on. So while I'm delivering, I'm there and I'm telling you, hey, do this, do that, do this, do that. I think that makes a difference. And second thing is, at some places, this goes too deep. So you generally need the T-shaped depth actually. So you have to have a breadth of a lot of items and depth of very few items. I'm there to guide you on that. So I think that makes the difference. Coherent delivery, and who creates the content, who delivers it, and yeah, what is required in the industry. Because I've seen a lot of people who never work in the industry come and teach data science because they think teaching is easy. They haven't had a good crowd actually. So teaching is not easy if you have a good crowd. So that's what. So I've worked in the industry for 3 years, and my motivation to come into teaching was to get good people in the industry. So that's what I can say. If you have anything specific, I can tell you more.
Okay, talking about the specific content, let's take an example, the linear regressions, right? So
Right.
when you talk about the linear regression, generally, if I go all over the places, they high level, at high level, they say this is a formula and use a Python method, linear regression, or use a R LM method. They don't talk about in detail about what is the math intuition behind it. So I am looking for that kind of a content for each and every model, because if I'm going to do something, I need to do in Python, I need to do in Excel, also I need to do in some other language, whatever models. It's just a programming, right? They created a package, we are using it. So whatever model that we are creating, that should be, I should do in pen and paper as well as in Excel, as well as in
Go ahead.
existing package that we are using. So I know I'm going to drive a car. Do I need to know the mechanic of those things? Yes, I need it, because something is stuck. So when I go to architect, you said when I go to like architect level, I'm in a position to go and sit and repair things, right?
Right.
So
Right.
this is a core thing, but I pay two things I told you, right? All of them are talking about the just a linear regression, use this methodology. That's all.
Right.
So yeah, that's a
Okay. Good. You asked it. I'll just show you the slides I have for linear regression of actual class. I'll not talk about it. I'll just walk you through the slides. I am just talking about how covariance is calculated. What is the formula? What's problem with covariance? And then go to correlation, how to find correlation, then how to do it stats way, and residuals, verifying the assumptions of residuals, then how do you evaluate results, how to evaluate each and every slope, what's a good slope, how to interpret these results, and how do you define R squared, how do you define all this multiple linear regression, what is the problem, what is the need for adjusted R squared, then ML way of solving LR, how to get RMSE. You have all the equations, the derivation, how gradient descent works, what happens with learning rate, what is multicollinearity, what is VIF, what is regularization, all the formulas, all the technicalities. These are the things which I go in the linear regression. Now, if you ask me about math part of it, yeah, Vatsal, sure. I'll call you and I'll get in touch with you. If you go to the math part of the linear regression, yes, I cover the fundamentals, and even SVM or KNN. If you go through my class, I'll assure you, you can develop an algorithm from scratch. Not needed to, you don't need it to use any package. That is the level of math I go through. And if you want, still I can give you access for previous batch where I taught this for 7 days. You go through it, you feel this is what I want, then you take it. Otherwise, you can leave it.
thanks. You almost share the information. It's not taking the content. I'm not doing any PhD here, right? I do understand that. I do understand that. So at least the basic model, whatever the basic foundation knowledge that is really required in terms of. So just want to understand that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, on the math side, I'll take it as much as required. There's no way of minimizing that, because I come from a math background. I'm an electrical engineer, so I can do it well. So don't worry about that side of it. And I want to win a customer with trust, because especially winning a customer who has already got cheated is difficult. So that's the thing. Okay.
Thanks. You answered my question. Thank you so much.
Cool, Bharani. Okay, Manju is saying, if you are only person doing this, how do you manage the crowd? Manju, in general, my class is 20 people, not more than that. If you find more than 20 in the class, I'll give you a refund. And second thing is, I don't have a full-time job. Supervised learning is my full-time, right? So Saturday, Sundays, I teach. Monday to Friday, I do my research, I build use cases, I study, I answer students' doubts. So I'm not the guy Monday to Friday work somewhere and Saturday, Sunday I'm teaching this. No, I'm not doing that. I teach Saturday, Sundays and take class Monday to Friday. So you can trust me on that. Management of the crowd. I've taught class as big as 40s. My class never goes beyond 20 these days. Okay, Abhi's question. I'm from non-programming field. I'm a civil engineer. Doable. Okay, Abhishek, right? There's one more guy, Sharath, also, who is having similar question. See, if you say that you are from a different background, I will say it will take more time. Okay, is it doable or not? I think you have to decide it yourself by taking a few online free things, and if you like it or not. But see, I'll tell you, I'm an electrical engineer. I went and tried something. I liked it. I wanted to make it the place in the field. Today, I'm teaching people to come into this field. So the only thing is, I like the field so much, and I spend as much time as I could to come into the field. So if you answer me, if you ask me, is this doable? I'm an optimist, guys. Okay, I'm an optimist. I'm a mentor. So I'm not gonna say, hey, civil engineering, you don't do it. So probably you say I'm an MBBS, you want to do data science. I'll say no. Civil is like you have a lot of math, you've done a math. But it won't be as easy for you as a guy who is already a data analyst looking for learning modeling. It will take some time. And if you have more experience, let's say you're saying 2013, that's almost 9 years. So it will take at least 1 year. Be prepared. So first question will be like, do you love this so much? Okay, do you badly want this career? If yes, second question is, are you ready to put time for 1 year, every week, 4 to 5 hours? Then doable. If the answer is no to any of them, not doable. Yes, Barney, you wanted it. Barney, can you share your email also with me? I think I have it.
Yes, you do. I'll reshare it again.
So, okay, I've noted your name. Okay. Sharath, yes, this is a beginner course, beginner to intermediate level course. So we'll start from basics, like right from probability, right from algebra, right from vector multiplication. So you should be able to do it.
Can you share it to me also, your recording session?
Who is this?
Krishna Chaitanya.
Krishna, can you share your video also?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, what about the mode of payment, Barney? Yeah, Barney, I'll do one thing. I'll give you a call. In general, we have a credit card EMI, no cost. You can take it 3 months with a no cost EMI. Or if you prefer any other mode of payment, I'll make you a call. I'll give you a call tomorrow not tomorrow, let's say Monday. And Monday or Tuesday, we'll talk about it. Or you can just email me also. That should be fine.
Sure. Thanks.
Cool. Okay, sure, Ravi. I think Vatsal has dropped out. Vatsal, I'll give a call. Okay. Any other questions? Did I miss? Manju, are you convinced? Okay, Sharath, I will give you a call today or Tuesday. Okay, what's call him? Good. If you're okay, Ravi, cool. Abhishek, you are saying weekday classes. At this batch is weekend at the moment. I'll have a weekday one also. I think that's it, right? Any other questions? Okay. Manju, anyways, I'll give
One
you a
question.
call also. Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Pratik. So what would be the frequency of these assignments and quizzes? Like, will it be after every class, or like will it be after every module?
No, after every class, you'll have it. Sometimes after every 2 classes, you'll have it. Sometimes after every class, you'll have it, but it will be a small portion of it. Typically, each assignment will take you 3 hours of your time.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 hours is max, I'm telling you. But if you go through the class, if you go through the pace, then it should be done in very less time.
Okay.
Pratik, this is Udaya here.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, hi. So just would like to understand the tools that we are covering, for example, for data cleansing and for building models, and also to create visualizations, right? So
Right.
when you say we use Tableau for visualization and for cleansing and for modeling, what are the tools we use and what depth we will have? For example, if somebody comes from a different background, right?
Right.
So how do we familiarize with this? For example, should we spend some additional hours outside of our course to get familiar with those tools so that we can use it to create or submit the assignments, right?
Right. Right. See, most of the tools which we use are Python, based on Python. So I want, it's a programming language, plus some packages we install on top of it, and then we use it Python. And I'll take you progressively in depth into the Python. So at first we start with as good as a plus b equal to 3. And you'll be able to write very complex codes to visualize or model it also. Right. And when you talk about Python, we have SQL also as a part of data cleaning. I'll teach you basics of SQL. We don't go into depth into SQL. Same with Tableau also. Basic to intermediate level we offer in Tableau. So Tableau is like very simple tool. SQL is like SQL commands only. And Python, we spend a lot of time on Python because industry uses it a lot. Now to the next part of the question, like we take basic to intermediate level, but if you face difficulties somewhere between, the only medicine for it is like spend more time. Our tutorials are very, very extensive. That means we'll talk about very, very simple, minute details also and logic also in the class. So if you can spend enough time understanding and replicating, doing assignments, you should be able to do. And at any time you face this, hey Prithvi, I'm not able to do it, still I'll be able to give you more assignments or more help also. But in general, over the course, I haven't seen people struggling. Whoever has got practice, I mean, whoever is putting time, they never struggled. That I have seen. Zero actually. Abhishek, the next weekday batch could be on Feb, March, April. Could be in April, Abhishek. Okay. Udaya, I hope I was able to answer.
Yes, I can understand. So
Yeah.
there's another question I have. So for
Yeah.
example, this is a package. I mean, package in the sense we learn it as a course, but after completing the course, the outcome, like whoever is, I mean, based on our interest or our background or our expertise, we can choose different roles. That's what you said, right?
Right.
It's not like everyone have to be data scientist, right? Like
Yeah.
we can be
Yeah.
analyst, and
Yes.
we can also work in data engineering team.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so the package that you are covering will touch base the basics to intermediate of all these roles. I mean, what is required for these roles, but it's up to our interest as well as for our need, or based on our experience, we can put into our real life scenarios and make use of it. That's what, right?
Yes, yes. You're pretty accurate in everything except the word data engineering. So data engineering is slightly different from data science. So when you have data related works, there are three aspects. One is the engineering side, data engineering. One is the business intelligence side, which is more of analytics, visualization, storytelling, dashboards and all. The third thing is modeling, where you have math and trying to building prediction or forecasting algorithms. So as a part of this course, you will be able to cover these two: analytics, visualization, dashboarding, modeling, building algorithms, forecasting, regression and all. As a part of this course, I don't teach this data engineering side of it. Engineering side of it is, again, it's an ocean on itself, wherein you have this Apache ecosystem and Cloudera, all those things where you have Hadoop kind of systems or Hadoop, and there is a bit of cloud also. So data engineering is the modern ETL where you are like you are working on transforming and extracting data at a scale. So that we don't cover, but this week. So whatever roles I have said, data scientist, data analyst, all those roles match. The things which won't cover are called data engineers, or the more called DevOps in some places. Yeah, as a part of this course.
Okay, I can understand. Yeah. So when you say it like modern ETL, yes. So we don't call nowadays ETL, we call it as data engineering. Yeah, I can understand that. So it's in our course, then how do we cleanse and prepare the data for? So that basics you will cover, but not in the depth of like complete engineering stuff of like connecting with different other platforms and making the possible establishment. That will not cover, but we will have how to make our data ready for our purpose.
Right. Once we have the data, what to do? The next part of this is the course. So it's not like the, so once you get water into your house, right? What you do with that water, that's what we cover as a part of the course. So you know, right, data engineering is more like a plumbing job in the data science world. So you connect from everywhere to everywhere. But after that, what do you do? How do you model it? How do you make sense out of it? How do you put to business use? That's what we cover here. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Thanks for that. So one last question, to practice or to implement the algorithms, right? So for example, let's say to write these or build this model. So what are the platforms we need to, I mean, should we buy something in the cloud, or we have some freewares, or you will help us to use during the course?
Right, I'll tell you. So most of the course is designed around open source only. You need not buy any licensed thing, Python. And second thing is, if you have minimum of 6 GB, 8 GB RAM on your laptop and i3 or i5 processor, you should be able to run all these codes which we teach on your local itself. Okay, and as the scale of the data increases, we have Google Colab. Google Colab is a free tool wherein you can practice the scalable versions also. And only, I mean, most of the skills can be practiced with a 8 GB RAM. You don't need more than that. If you get data bigger than 8 GB also, we'll have ways to, free ways to do it also. So, that to answer it, you don't need anything new. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, it's like platform independent. So
platform independent. Yeah. You have a PC, you can run all these things. Sure, Krishna, I'll get in touch with you. Yeah.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Atay. Yeah. If you have, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have a PC, we'll have Anaconda distribution. Anaconda is a distribution which installs all these free packages, open source for you for data science environment. And you can run pretty much anything, computer vision or deep learning or NLP or just Python visualization. Everything is like, we teach in open source, you can run it on your own laptop itself or PC.
Perfect. Okay, so what about the content availability? But for example, you shared the contents, right, with us.
Right.
So we have access to the contents throughout the course, or we have like a lifetime access
No,
to the
no. Access
contents?
is, once you buy it, you will have it forever. All the content is forever.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
so that we can
All the
also use it.
Yeah, all the
post-course.
slides, hands-on, all those things are forever. You can just open it anytime and use them, including the recordings also.
Mhm. Okay, yeah, thanks for that. I took more time. Maybe one more last question about
No problem, no
this
problem.
mathematics part. I think somebody was asking about this mathematics stuff, right? For example, to be honest, I hate mathematics. Okay, but since it is needed, so how much will it be impacting me? For example, if I just not touching the maths and still I want to leverage the data science in other part of it and use it in my for example, I'm from the analytics background and I do modeling and do reporting. So for example, if I want to skip that and I have to leverage the other part of data science, how much it is possible? And I think you'll be able to tell, I mean, there are 2 to 3 roles or 4 roles you explained, right?
Right.
Yeah.
See, there are always rules which need a shallow understanding of math, I will say. If you ask me, what will I miss if you skip the math part of it, is like, given the tools we have today, you will miss literally very short bit of it. Because see, I'll tell you, a bit of math is perfectly required. For example, if you talk logistic, you have to understand what is logit is, what is the sigmoid curve is, etc. Understanding and interpreting math, again, probability, mean. So first thing, data science math is all 8th, 9th, 10th maths, which we have studied, applied it in a data context. The only place you will get a derivative in data science is in neural network. Nothing anywhere else, right? So that's where our trickiest part in math starts. That's one thing. Second thing is, you won't lose anything if you don't go into depth of math, until and unless your organization asks you develop an algorithm from scratch. You won't lose anything. But and second thing, if you're more of a consultant who have a team of people who are building solutions within 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, and quickly move to other project, where your role is more of take the tool, apply it, demonstrate it, deploy it, then there will not be any problem. But the problem might rise when the data gets complicated, 1 or 2 basic algorithms are not giving results. Then you might need to have a grip of math to get the tools do better. That's it. And yeah, it affects your accuracy sometimes when you don't get into depth of math.
Okay, I think that you touched that point. Actually, whenever I say or talk about data science with, with my like-minded persons, right? They say that, hey, it's not like what you think about data science. It's like you have to go and understand the statistics and mathematics. That's the base for you. From that only you will be able to start. So that's why I just asked you, for example, if I have problem in that basement, so how will I leverage the capabilities of data science, right? But I can understand that I have to, I mean, it's not like completely avoiding. So it's not
Yeah.
needed for the deep mathematics, but the conceptual understanding, what is
Yeah.
there in your algorithm that we need to be able to understand. That's what
Exactly.
it is, right?
Exactly.
Thanks.
As I said, right, again, I'll go back. What is probability? What is conditional probability? What is marginal probability? See, we aren't taught this in real life use case. So we are always taught this in the school saying, hey, A is an event happens this time, B is an event which happens this time. Tell me the probability. Doesn't make sense. But when you ask like, hey, it's gonna rain 3 times in a week, when you get a rain, you're taking your car out, tell me what is the probability that you'll take a car out. So right, so this is what so half of the people I've seen who fear math are not taught properly. That's one thing. And fundamental math is for sure, you need it. and I'll teach it. You don't feel like it is math, you'll feel like it's logic. That's what I'm saying. All this probability or linear algebra for that matter, 3x plus 4y plus 5z. That's just a line connecting all these 3 points in the space. So there's no much maths there actually. So
Okay.
whatever the basic math you require, I teach it very well in the class. But when your friend said that you will need math to go start with, they meant all this conditional probabilities or linear algebra stuff. That's it.
Yes, I can understand. I mean, the line you underlined it, right?
Right.
So it was not thought properly.
Right.
I can take that as a what is called that as a fact actually.
Right.
I can understand. Yes. So maybe with not a proper mentor or with not a proper example understanding, we took maths as a subject and moved on, right?
Yes. Otherwise, it's very enjoyable subject. I'm telling you, you'll enjoy it. That's what I'm telling you. Okay, sure,
Thanks.
Barney. Okay, and Uday, sure. Abhishek, you can leave your email once. Okay, you left it, Abhishek sent, right? Cool. I'll talk to you, Abhishek. Guys, one more thing. Whoever wants to have a one-on-one with me, the link is already emailed to you, but I'm also pasting the link here again in the chat. Just go ahead and book a slot. Even if the slot doesn't work, just book it there so that I'll have a marker. I'll get back to you. Okay. Whoever wants to talk with me one-on-one, just click the link and book it. Any questions you have, or you just want to touch base on me for any questions, feel free, go ahead and book it. Okay, any other questions, guys? Okay. Cool, then I'll do one thing. I'll close the session for today. If you have any personal questions also, feel free to email me or book a slot with me. I'm gonna talk to every one of you before next week. It could be today, tomorrow, or Monday. At your feasible time, I'll talk to you. Cool. Thanks a lot for joining, guys, and very entertaining questions. Not entertaining, I enjoy these questions, so that's why I said entertaining, right? Abhishek, I'm gonna call you. Manju, I'm gonna call you. Ravi, I'm gonna send you email. Yep, I've noted all this. Sharath also, I'll talk to you. Cool, guys, right? That's all for today. Have a happy weekend, right? Hope you will be joining. So this will be your last weekend. Enjoy it to the core. From next week onwards, I'll not leave you. I'll give you enough homework.
Thank you, Prithvi.
Yep.